Yeah. Someone at the door, John, now I'm here to stay. Tell me who the fuck gonna face the music. More brick laying, less screen time. Been cutting back on the daily usage. Long road for the road dogs, for the weird minds. From a soapbox, got BKTs on this bitch, so everybody getting rolled on, yeah. Yeah, everybody getting rolled on. Check all this credits on BMI. I'm just too kind to expose y'all. And I see a team with a gold sign and question if y'all ever wrote songs. All enemies, I'm on a band study, please don't.
That's right, folks. Oh man, Chloe Zhao got that guy again, man. Cyber, she fucked him up. Poor guy. He was already fucked up, and then he fell out of that truck. I mean, shit.
Did not help.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Anyways, folks. This is, of course, the MCU's Bleeding Edge, and this actually was a slightly less fucked up sort of intro that I usually get from me, to be honest with you. So, obviously, this is like a more tame version of me here we're working with tonight. This is our Moon Knight Episode 5 review, because my fucking pussy ass could not, like, handle my business and shit and, like, maintain and whatnot and, like, hook up with Cyber and do it, like, on Wednesday night like we were supposed to. I had to pussy out and, like, you know, be a little bitch, so I missed out on the show. So, you know, Renee had to step in and Cyber had to step in and kick my ass in gear and get me the fucking live stream tonight and whatnot here on Tuesday night and shit, so we can get this fucking review done. And it's really nice to be on the MCU's Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast, I gotta be honest with you. Oh, yeah. It's nice to see my good friend and my loyal and supportive co-host Cyberneticshark, the veteran YouTuber, MCU enthusiast, movie reviewer extraordinaire, Cyber, you've got some interesting, not even like frozen, but like slow motion shit going on here and there and whatnot that is like really cool looking.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Very 60s stop motion action vibe.
It's like it's kind of like taking LSD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not that I know anything about that, of course, but anyways.
No.
Renee, what the hell's going on with you, man?
Nothing. Absolutely. Well, I take that back. I will be a early afternooner on Thursday at 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time for the Multiverse of Madness. So I am very.
Oh, that's awesome!
Along with the finale of Moon Knight, which will be coming up, which will drop in about 2 a.m. where I'm at.
I am so.
So I am just, and not only that, I am riding the waves this week. I'm doing your show twice. I'm also doing a finale of Moon Knight on Saturday, and I will also be up for the Multiverse of Madness early review on Sunday.
Well, let me tell you right now.
I will be exhausted at the end of the week.
Well, hey, I am like super, super stoked for you that you are going to see the Multiverse of Madness and shit in the theater and whatnot, like, you know, like right when it's coming out and everything and like whatnot, because you don't usually do that shit.
No, I don't. This is like one of the first times I've ever done that. So I'm one of those guys who'll wait till a couple weeks in or even let it come on streaming and then catch it. But, you know, since I'm really involved with all this with you guys, thanks to you guys for bringing me and inviting me, that I'm doing it just for you guys so I can join in with the fun.
Well, you know what? Renee, if Cyberneticshark and myself have had anything to do with any of that, then like we are definitely very humbled about that fact. But either way, like I said, it is exciting for me to know that you're actually going to go watch the film on Thursday, the same day I'm going. When are you going, Cyber?
Yeah, Thursday.
Thursday? Okay. We're all going on Thursday. Perfect. So, this is, we may have one more coming on. We had a fourth, and we lost him, unfortunately. Vincent Van Spock was going to be on, but he had a little, I don't know if he had a family emergency, or had to poop, or like what was going on, but he had to dip. So, anyways, bottom line, we're working with a small crew here tonight. Small show here on the Bleeding Edge. Oh shit, did I fuck you up, Cyber? My bad. I apologize. I threw off your professionality. So no, we got a small crew here, which is cool. And hey, you know what? If you're going to be doing a small crew show, you know, you might as well have Renee in that bitch, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean?
Yep, I'm here.
Yep. That's how it is. You know, because I mean, honestly.
Teamwork.
That's right. That's right, because the smaller the group of people, the better Renee looks. You know what I mean? Like, if you add more people into the equation, shit gets ugly. You know what I mean? But, you know. That's right.
I'll have to bring on a special guest with Lady Death Lady. Hopefully I'll get it a photo made and up on my little avatar thing by tomorrow.
Well, you know what? I have not busted your balls in a while, so I think you're about due.
Okay. All right.
And do not mind me, but Lord Deathman is asking me, is there a link for non-participants for the show? And I don't know, to be completely honest with you.
Well, you know, Lord Deathman and Lady Death Lady.
That's a good question. I don't know if there is a link that I can give him. I don't know. I'm not really sure what he means. I don't understand. Like, he wants to be in the studio?
Yeah, just give him the link to the show and just put him in the backstage.
I already gave him the fucking link to the show, I think.
Yeah, we'll tell him that.
Yeah, Jesus. Good. Thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
Just use the fucking link I gave you. Come on, Deathman, son of a bitch. Jesus.
Now,
anyways.
Be nice.
I'm just playing. I love Lord Deathman to death. He's like one of my best buddies. He's good people. So anyways, alright. You guys are going to have to work with me a little bit on Asylum. Because, I mean, I watched that bitch, but I gotta be honest with you. I know now, Cyber, why you watched it twice. Because, there's some confusing shit that goes on throughout the course of the episode. There is. And I hate to say it, but I went into episode 5 basically at a make or break point with the series overall, as far as like where I was at with the grade and like, you know, how I feel about the series in general. And what they delivered in episode 5 was not at all what the hell I was looking for from the series, or like, you know, from the story at all. Like, in any way, shape, or form. It was not what I wanted. So, I'm not pissed. I'm not unhappy. I'm just kind of shocked, I'll be completely honest with you, that they took it in the direction they did, and they kept that same tone, leaving Moon Knight kind of out of the whole thing again. No Khonshu really again, except at the end. Just very, you know, I don't know, I'm surprised, I guess. You know, and before I go ahead and play the Moon Knight episode 5 promo teaser deal, you know, I just want to go around and just to do this a little bit, like, different than usual, change things up. Going to you, Cyber, going to you, Renee. Were you happy? I mean, with the maintaining of that same pace, sort of, that we got from episode 4 into episode 5? Were you looking for something different? You're like, kind of like I was?
I honestly was wasn't sure of the pace that they were going to take with the episode, so I had no expectations going in. I didn't have any problems with it being the same kind of tempo as the last episode. I thought this was a superb episode. I really enjoyed it, and I think it was very cleverly done. So overall, I think it kept what it was trying to do for the series.
Okay, Renee?
Yeah, I really, really like the episode as well. I sort of see where you're coming from, though, Jeff, because it really has gone in a very different direction than what you expect a Marvel to be. I mean, it's always it builds up, in each episode it gets a bigger confrontation and to the finale. And really, it hadn't been a lot of fight scenes when you consider it in this. It's been a lot more psychological, a lot more just focusing in on Oscar Isaac's performance and things like that. And I think they really zoned in on him for these last two episodes purposely. We'll find out in the final episode what they got in store for us. So yeah, I mean, as far as I went, I didn't miss that there wasn't a lot of action in it, because I think it was a lot of suspense. It was really giving us a lot of in-depth, very, as you say, cleverly done, in-depth backstory to Mark and his situation and how he got to where he is, and this whole thing with Mom. You know, he's always talking about, he talked with his mom on the phone in the very beginning, and then Stephen does, and then this mom figure sort of keeps coming up, and then the hippo, which opens the episode. I believe, I can't remember the goddess's name, but she is the Egyptian goddess of
Taweret. Taweret.
Taweret. Okay, thank you, Taweret. And she is a goddess representing motherhood and children and childbirth and all that. So it's like I said, there's a lot of psychological things going on in this episode, and I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay, I think that's fair. And again, I'm not dooming and glooming and shit and all that and whatnot. Like, that's not where I'm at. I'm just saying that I'm surprised. That's all. I just didn't like the I personally, I guess, like, my inner fan wanted a different course of action. You know, like a different direction, I guess.
Right,
you know,
right. Well, that's fair. That's fair.
I wanted more Moon Knight. You know what I mean? I wanted more in the costume Moon Knight, like fighting people and, like, using weapons and shit and killing people and, all that and whatnot. And this what they gave us, it kind of reminds me of WandaVision in a way. Like it was like a psychological thriller.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and hey, I guess if you're going to do something like that, and have, like, something as unique as having, like, the same actor playing, like, two different, people, you know what I mean, or whatever, on screen at the same time and shit like that, which has got to be difficult. I guess Oscar Isaac would be the actor to pick for that shit, right? I mean, but, okay, so, from a standard review standpoint and whatnot, of course, the episode does begin with where things ended with episode 4 with Taweret, and we, I guess, get, like, the introduction or the start of sort of a explanation for the reality that Mark and Steven are currently in. And I honestly can say that I still don't completely understand some parts of the concept as far as, like, this dream state or, like, inner state or whatever that, like, they were in and whatnot. There's certain parts that I didn't get a little bit at times. But I do grasp that if I'm correct, guys, what we were basically seeing throughout the episode was a inner reflection within Mark Spector, right?
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
And so now we didn't get Jake Lockley. At least I don't think we did. I was kind of expecting that. That didn't happen. But going to you guys right off the bat, Renee, and then Cyber, if you'll jump in too. What did you make of like the first, I guess I'd say like maybe 8 to 10 minutes of like the episode where we sort of are kind of like figuring out what the hell's going on, you know, with things. And of course we've got this whole hippopotamus looking, you know, chick or whatever, hanging out and everything and whatnot, which is interesting. And there's this whole dichotomy all of a sudden where we have Mark Spector and we have Stephen Grant as individuals. They're no longer coexisting and fighting over for the body. They're two separate bodies. Which now that I will give right now, that was actually very well done. And that like really was interesting and whatnot. It really was. It was very impressive. So Renee, what was your take on like the first? I'd say I don't know, like the first 8 to 10 minutes, basically. Like, you know, what, like how did you feel about it? Were you confused at all? Did you understand right from jump kind of what was going on?
Well, yeah, I'm going to say that I did get what was going on because if we take Dr. Harrow, the psychiatrist, at face value, then what he's doing is with Mark is what's called a talking cure, and he's making Mark talk about all these things, you know, trying to bring these things that he has suppressed in his memory. He doesn't really remember. If he does remember him, he doesn't remember his emotion of it, but he certainly doesn't want to revisit it, of his childhood, which we find out later on about that. But so Mark keeps retreating back into his world with Stephen Grant, and then as you see him, he's going through these different rooms, and they're visiting, you know, it's surrealized versions of all the people that Mark Spector assassinated, you know, and
yes,
and things like that. So yeah, I got it. I mean, I really did, and I'm not bragging on myself too much, but I've actually done some reading in Freud and whatnot, and psychology and stuff like that. So I did get what was going on. I thought it was well done and everything, and of course I didn't know what was going to come up, but you know that came out. But I did understand that you know we just have to let this roll and just watch it, and you know, and if you've seen other movies, it's not just, you don't have to read Freudian and all crap like that, but you can, if you watch a lot of Hitchcock, you watch a lot of those old psychological thriller type movies, which I have done over and over. You know the tropes, you know the pacing, you know how it's going to go. So
that's okay, Renee. You don't have to gaslight yourself just because you're smarter than me. It's okay. I can handle it.
I've just read more books. That's all.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Well, you know,
you're smart. You're smart as I am.
Yeah, you know, I don't have time for books. I'm too busy, you know, recording private, you know, private intimacy sessions, you know, with the ladies. You know what I mean? It's hard to read. It's hard to find time to read. You know, when you're as exhausted from sex as I am. You know what I mean? Like
the least watched channel on Pornhub.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. Even the bi guys aren't into me. You know what I mean? Like, even they don't like my OnlyFans. But you know, which is unfortunate. But hey, you know, honestly, Renee, for a fucking like skeleton with no brain and shit, like, you are definitely pretty intelligent, realistically.
Okay, thank you.
You know.
Yep.
So, Cyber, sir, what was your take on the opening of the episode?
Well, I was glad that they, you know, started right off showing Tarurette again, and, you know, they kind of gave a little more about who this creature was, who she was, and I mean, I hands down think they should give an Emmy to Oscar Isaac for his split personality performances because he was fantastic. You totally thought he was two different people. But that whole beginning sequence is really interesting. I didn't get confused by it. I understood what was going on. I knew it was more part of the the whole basically like afterlife aspect. Because last time we saw Steven, he had been shot by Harrow, and we knew that he was supposedly dead. And so, I mean, to kind of go back to a little bit about Jack Lockley, there is an instance when they are in having a session with Harrow that this was explained. It was in an article that there is a small brief window there that actually is supposed to be Jack Lockley. So we have seen him. We saw him in this episode, just it wasn't very subtle. And unless you're actually paying attention, you don't know this. But yeah, I thought that whole beginning little section was really interesting. And it definitely delved deeper and deeper as the episode went into more about who, this person is and like why they exist together.
Okay. And as I mentioned before, I've got the Moon Knight episode 5 promo. So if I can figure out which one it is, I'll be good to go.
Steven is in agony.
I've been in situations like this before. If you are gonna go through with this, you gotta be smart. The other gods, what about them?
When the gods imprison me, tell Mark to free me.
More pain than anyone could bear.
Wow, that was brief. But interesting, I guess. What do you guys think? Will it hurt anything if I go ahead and play the episode 6 promo too? It shouldn't bother anything, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
no, go for it.
I was his former avatar.
You could have told me what it's been like for you.
I had her under control until very recently.
You must be his avatar.
We have a deal. I wish you could live to see the world we make. Steven, what did you do?
I swear it wasn't me.
Then who was it? Khonshu punishes those who have already walked an evil path. His retribution comes too late. Amit tears evil up from the root.
Promise, no secrets between us.
Marvel Studios' Moon Knight. New episode streaming Wednesdays, only on Disney+.
That was cool. Now I like that. That was pretty dope. For me, I feel like Ethan Hawke is definitely. Ethan Hawke is not going to get my Monica Rambeau award for this series. Ethan Hawke for me basically is like at the same level as Oscar Isaac essentially, as far as I'm concerned. Like as far as the impact, maybe not the acting, but like the impact that he's put together in his time on screen as the Jack Harrow character. I feel like he's been excellent. Really excellent. The character really fits him very well. Renee, did you want to say something about that?
Oh no, I agree. I think Ethan Hawke, he hasn't had the what they call scene chewing parts, where our script chewing scenes or whatever you call it, that Oscar's had. But yeah, he holds his own, and like you say, yeah, he sort of played some of these. I think a couple years ago he was in John Brown. I think they did a mini series about that, and then he's done other where he sort of plays that kind of deep, sort of weird, psychological, charismatic guy, lots of times. So yeah, he really fit the part.
Well, he's a very talented actor. I mean, he's done a lot of different types of film over the years. I mean, from like Shakespearean stuff. You know what I mean, at times and whatnot, to like Gattaca, which is a classic. With Jude Law and what's her name from Kill Bill?
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. Yep. A young Uma Thurman, very attractive lady. So, I guess for me, like, as Renee mentioned, as we're following the two of them, we get into the part where, we revisit Mark Spector's, I guess you could say, criminal victims, I guess, like, victims of the Khonshu, of, like, Khonshu's vengeance, that are, I guess, criminals. That he's punished over the years and everything or whatnot. That was very poignant for them to put to do that like that, to throw them all together in that room and whatnot, and revisit like the psych ward setting, almost in a way, but with all dead people, just like frozen and shit. Very powerful, and I thought it was interesting when Mark mentioned that he actually, like, wished that, like, death on himself, as opposed to, like, killing the criminals at certain points or whatever and whatnot, It kind of just, like, taps into, the inner turmoil that, like, Mark has experienced due to having Khonshu being a part of him, you know what I mean? Just like, Harrow has had the same experience and whatnot with Khonshu, or at least says that he has in the past. From that scene with the victims, I did not necessarily understand, was the child a young Mark Spector?
Yes.
Okay, so we had the child, the young Mark Spector, pop in, and that's when we started to really kind of like get a mix of the Scales and Tourette and whatnot and everything to some extent. And then at the same time, we started getting flashbacks of Mark Spector's life. Go ahead, Renee.
I don't want to step on Cyber, what he's saying, but I think that the child is the brother, because remember, these are the people in this room are his victims. And the whole thing, everything when he goes through these rooms and these different places, he's denying all this stuff. Even when he admits that these were his assassination victims, he said, but, I was under, this is what Khonshu said they had to do. It was justice that they would go and blah, blah. So he's denying his responsibility in their deaths. And then the kid pops up and Stephen goes, oh my God, don't tell me. Look, did you kill a child too? And then we get into Mark's role in his Roro's death.
Okay. Cyber, do you have anything to chime in on that?
My bad. I thought you were talking about later on. That child there, I have no idea who that was. But at the same time, it was kind of an interesting little, like, let's throw a kid in there too with all the people he's killed and so forth and stuff. So I think it was an interesting little take, like, in who that is. But it could be the little brother, most definitely. Could be.
Okay. Well, now I'm confused again, but that's okay. It's all right. I like that state.
Well, you have to go back after we talk. You have to go back and watch it again. Watch that episode again before you watch the episode.
I will. And you know what else too that I'm gonna do? Besides, of course, like pushing myself as hard as I have to make sure that I finally get through Daredevil and finish that bitch, so I can finally move on and like watch Iron Fist or Luke Cage or what the Punisher or one of those like other Netflix shows. I'm actually going to, I think finally, like, for the first time, revisit maybe, like, WandaVision or The Falcon and the Winter Soldier again and, like, go back and, like, rewatch that shit again. I finally feel like I'm ready, you know? And I think it's going to be interesting. Cyber, we might have to come together and do some re-reviews, brother. You know?
Well, certainly.
Some second watch reactions, you know, I guess, you know?
Yep.
Oh, so anyways, okay. So as far as, okay, so we don't know who the hell the kid was. We have no clue. We have an idea. But we're not sure, and that's okay. Hey. I mean, look. For me, I almost felt like this episode was similar to, like, what I experienced with, like, a Doctor Strange trailer. How they stuff a ton of shit in, like, a 2-minute thing, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to, like, figure it all out and whatnot. That's how I felt about this episode, in a way. But I did grasp that we were getting, like, hardcore flashbacks into, essentially, Mark Spector's past. And his mother, who I take it was basically like an asshole, you know? And at that point, we also get this, I guess, almost like, dynamic or like, problem or issue or whatever, where, and again, this is where you guys have got to help me out a little bit and whatnot, because I'm not totally completely sure. But when Towerette was talking about balancing the scales, and the scales became a part of the episode and whatnot and everything and the feature, what exactly was the actual issue in terms of what Mark Spector's actual state was, health-wise, as far as whether being, like, on the edge of death or life or, like, whatever. Like, that's where I kind of got a little bit lost. And maybe y'all can help me out a little bit on that, because I could not understand exactly what it was that they actually, you know, asked Tower to help, you know, and whatnot and everything. Mark and Steven asked Tower to bring them back to Khonshu, I believe, didn't they?
So basically what's going on is they've been killed again. And they are supposed to be going to either one or two of the different lands. Either the Promised Land or to be stuck in that desert and be eaten by the zombies. So the balance of scales, as they showed there, is they have to be balanced in order to go to the Promised Land. Or if it's not, then they have to go into that giant sea of those zombies or whatever you want to call them. So they're asked her Towerette, to help them to balance out the scales effort. And so the scales, they have to figure out why the scalers are off. But later on the episode, the end of the episode, they ask her for another favor, basically, to go a completely different way than they are. So there are two different ways that the episode goes. So just that part you're talking about, that's what that's all about.
Okay. Renee, do you have any thoughts or anything or whatnot about that part of the episode and whatnot that I'm discussing with Cyber right now about, where again Towerette kind of like decides to kind of pitch in, I guess, almost aid Mark and Steven, while they're still at the same time experiencing their flashbacks and whatnot and everything, and sort of like debating with each other and like kind of arguing and whatnot and everything, you know. What were your thoughts on where the shift and like the direction of the episode went kind of at that point?
Well, my take on it, and I think Cyber pretty much hit it, because there's two ways here. In one way, we have Mark Spector, who is a psychotic person, deeply disturbed, trying to be cured by this doctor. On the other hand, we have Mark Spector, who has gotten involved in this mystical realm with these gods and fates and everything, and cosmic questions and all that. And so with Tara Watt, however you say her name, she's going to decide, or the scales are going to decide the state of Mark and Steven's soul. So right now they're like two different souls, about something differentiated between each other. So Mark has to, who's we're going to say is the actual person, he has, before he can get into heaven, as it were, the field of reeds, he has to reconcile himself. He has to admit to his guilt. He has to face up to all the stuff he did and take responsibility for it. Yes, I committed all these sins. Yes, I committed all these omissions. Yes, I committed all these things. I atone for this, yada, yada. His conscience gets cleared. He gets to go to the field of reeds. If he doesn't, if he keeps deny, no, I never did all these things. I did this. I did it for this reason. My mother did this thing. My mother beat me. She blah, blah, blah. Then if you keep denying it, you're going to go to hell, which is the sand pit. So that's my take on it, which is really deep dive into religion. I know that, and I'll confess right now, I have a degree in academic study of religion and anthropology. So that's where I'm coming from.
I got you, most definitely. No, and I know that you have that that background, Renee. We've talked about that before.
Mm-hmm. I just don't want to think I was just pulling stuff out of my ass. And I always like to joke around, if I do pull stuff out of my ass, I have an educated ass to pull out of.
There you go. And as I was mentioning in the comment section, I certainly know about pulling things out of my ass because of all the homoerotic behavior I've been experiencing, due to the...
Oh, with Oscar Isaac.
No, just due to,
I got the kid on the TV right now, and he's got on a little striped shirt. So okay, keep going, and I'll tell you if it's the same kid. All right, keep going with what you were saying.
Okay. Jeez, now you're confusing me now, Renee. Damn, man, come on now.
Okay, yeah. Kid runs out of the hall into another room, which the room turns out to be the garden in Mark's childhood home. And
well,
let's see. I'm waiting to see if the kid has a striped shirt on.
I'm gonna have to definitely make an effort to stop hitting this fucking vape and whatnot and everything, because I'm getting, all bent on over here and whatnot and everything.
Hang on, the kid has a striped shirt on, so it is official. The kid in the room with all the dead people is Mark's younger brother.
Okay. Good to know.
Raise the roof, Renee. Raise the roof.
Well, Tex agrees with you, Renee, and says that, yes, this kid is Mark's brother, same striped shirt. Mark feels responsible for his brother's death. Thank you, Tex. We appreciate you as always.
Yay.
Way to be clutch in the comment section. Also, maybe Jake is gay. Oh, so that's why we don't see Jake, because he's in the closet? Could be. Oh, shit. You don't even... Now we got Mr. Booze and Chill in the comment section? Oh, shit. What's up, Raymond? There's an article about this, Raymond says. And just reading it gave me blue balls. Oh, man, Raymond. Come on now. Hey. You think you've had blue balls, man? Shit.
It's Ramon, not Raymond.
Oh, I apologize. Shit. Imagine the blue balls that fucking Vision experienced and whatnot, not having a penis for all those years and shit. That must have been rough. You know? You wonder why fucking Wanda's like all crazy and shit and whatnot and like causing the fucking multiverse to like fall apart and everything. Hey, man, you know, having a fucking boyfriend that has no penis will do that to you. That's, you know, that's a very non-interesting relationship at that point. I'm not really sure in WandaVision what, like, Vision was doing for her in the bedroom when they went under the covers and shit at that one point. I'm not sure what was going on, but...
I feel like Dr. Harrow, I should be drawing you out more. Tell us more about that.
Well, I can tell you right now, there was definitely no penetration going on.
Did you ever have the desire to put on your mother's bra?
No. But I do like it when women keep their underwear on in the bedroom. If I like the underwear, if it's cute, I'll tell them to keep it on. I like it. Yep.
Granny panties.
That I enjoy.
You're into the granny panties.
That I enjoy. Yes.
The old Playtex bra, the heavy duty 18-hour bras.
Oh no. No, I make chicks wear thongs for me. That's what I like. So, no, I like to just... What I like about it, honestly, Renee, is I like the whole, like, yanking that shit aside so I can get up in there, like, vibe. You feel me?
Oh, God.
It's kind of got, like, a quasi-rape, like, vibe to it. It's nice.
That's what she says. You yank that shit aside.
Yep.
This is the MCU's Bleeding Edge, people.
I don't need that in there. I don't know.
Hey.
I think we lost it. I think we moved over into Pornhub.
No, listen. This ties into the episode. You know,
I hope you edit this show.
We're in the next episode, we're going to get the Egyptian god of orgasms.
Oh, Cyrus.
It's instead of a hippopotamus with a skirt, it's going to be a big vagina.
Well, we've already seen the vagina in this episode. That's the cave.
So, now, let me ask you guys a question here. I did not notice... I noticed, obviously, Mark's...
I'm going to let Cyber take this one.
Okay. Cyber, I noticed, obviously, Mark's mom and everything in the flashbacks and whatnot and everything, right? But... I think maybe I saw Layla one time, briefly. She really did not have much of an impact in the episode at all, right?
Correct.
Now
they talk about her a little bit, but she's not really seen very much. Yeah.
Now that actually ties into what I wanted to ask you guys next, which was, does that surprise you at all? I mean, that's how things kind of played out to where, like, Layla ended up not really being a part of the story in episode 5 and whatnot after having such a big impact and so much screen time in episode 4. Cyber?
I think that her story arc was those episodes 3 and 4. And I think that's why we didn't get much of her in episode 5, because episode 5's purpose was to show why, Mark has these multiple personalities, why he has dissociative disorder. This was to show, kind of his progress into becoming, getting back to being Moon Knight again. So she really wasn't needed in order for that progress to happen, because we already saw her progress with Steven and Mark in the last 2 episodes.
I see. Okay, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Renee, if this is, pretty much, potentially maybe, I guess, not, the end of, her role in the series, but kind of, she's already reached her climax, if that's the case, are you happy with what we got from her?
She, her character really came alive. I think it was in episode 3 and 4, or it may have been, maybe after, may have been 4 and 5, whichever. But yeah, but she was a vehicle to get him to where he's at. I mean, she was just another person that Mark was using in his fantasy world. You know, she was just she's another patient, I believe, and it probably was attracted to her, and she's very, very pretty and everything. He was attracted to her, so she became his love interest in his brain somehow. You know, maybe Mark. You know, Mark never knew Layla, that she just thinks all this stuff, killing of her father and all that's just stuff he conflated in his head somehow. You know, the guy he killed never had a daughter. So yeah, I think it's she served her purpose. Yeah, I think will she come back? I don't know. Yeah, but she become unimportant at this point because it went right to his relationship with his mother.
Yeah. And then, of course, we ended up getting, like, I guess what you could almost call a sort of quasi-origin story where, through a dialogue between Steven and Mark, and flashbacks again, we visit the aftermath and, like, all the dead from Bushman when Mark actually is almost killed or comes close to death. And then, of course, we get Khonshu for the first time, in reality for the first time, contacting Mark. And that's really what I wanted to get into next and whatnot and everything. And I'll go right back to you, Renee, and then over to you, Cyber. How did you feel, or what was your take on Khonshu appearing again, but in a flashback, in like the quasi-origin story type deal that they threw into the episode and whatnot and everything, and the dialogue between him and Mark Spector and everything? What did you think about that, Renee?
Yeah, Mark thinks he's in hell, or he's getting ready to go to hell because he's going to commit suicide. And so then as he looks up, you know, in his maybe he just was lucky enough to crawl up, and there was the god Khonshu. And then at that point, vulnerability in his life, then Khonshu takes him over. And, you know, I think that was the point of that, yeah.
Do you believe that Khonshu is like a manipulative force in some way? Like he actually is like possibly in some way maybe I mean saying negative is too loose. I mean, like, you know, is it possible that maybe like Hiro's like you know, take on Khonshu and what it did to him might be somewhat realistic, Cyber?
More realistic.
As far as the toll that Khonshu puts on an avatar?
I suppose so. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of toll that takes on the avatar to some extent. I mean, having this god take over your body, basically, and giving you these crazy powers, I'm sure there's some things that are different and can take a physical toll on you mentally and physically. But at the same time, I think that, too, because of the supernatural ability of it, too, I think it doesn't affect them in a way too as well. So I mean, overall, I think that it's a back into, you know, for this type of concept.
Okay, Renee, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if the god's objective is his own. He doesn't really care about his avatar. You know, he's just looking for a worthy candidate. And so he can, so whatever the god's objective is, that's what's going to go forth. And I don't know if they're necessarily bad or good. I mean, Khonshu is a god of justice who claims he's protecting the travelers of the night. You know that that he's going to, and Mark will be his instrument of justice for that in exchange for his life. So, you know, Mark's basically a corpse or a zombie himself at this point, and just maybe he has a thread of life in him, And so that's what's trying to be that little bit of life that's left in him. I think that's what's trying to be weighed on the scale.
Well, I do not believe that Khonshu is like nefarious.
No.
I don't feel that way at all. That's
No.
not. I don't feel like he's nefarious. I feel like he's so bent on his goals in terms of vengeance and punishment or whatever and whatnot and everything.
Exactly.
That, like you said, he doesn't care at that point, like what his vessel does, or doesn't do, basically, or like how it affects him, right? So now let me ask you guys a question. Again, I know I'm moderating, but this is a new type of moderation where, like, while you're moderating, you don't know what the fuck's going on. It's a new kind of thing. It's a new deal, that I'm working on. So, and at that point, instead of asking you like questions about the episode, I'm gonna ask you what the fuck's going on. But no. So, did they actually flush out the origin of Steven appearing or awakening in Mark Spector and whatnot in this episode? Because I could not tell.
Yes. Because that whole sequence where it shows all the backtracking of his childhood basically shows that because of his mother's, because of his mother blamed him for his brother's death, she was evil to him, and basically Mark made up Steven inside of himself, and basically as a child he started to have these flashbacks or getting these outages and becoming Steven. For a short amount, not as much of a time as like we've seen in the show itself, but as a kid it was like kind of brief moments for a little bit, and then he would go back to being himself. So yeah, they flushed that all out.
Yeah, when his mother would beat him, he would retreat into Stephen Grant. His hero that's in that movie.
Okay.
That terrible movie.
Well, thank you for confirming that for me. Now I have a better understanding of what actually was going down. So there actually is some B-roll from the episode. Okay, folks. Now we have
DJ Pop, what's up?
we got a road trip version of a POF live here. The live streamer, the woman, is actually in the fucking live for the first time in like 4 videos. Like, haven't seen one. This is actually a human being in this one. So hey, honestly, just based off that, like, this already is like the best live I've seen so far. Now, I mean,
anymore, and he wants to. It's okay. Don't give me a hug, please. Please do not.
I mean, the person was talking about giving you a digital hug.
Yeah, he threatened himself, and then he threatened me.
Are you telling me that
he
you're threatened by a digital fucking hug?
That he respects women. But he don't respect
What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
His room.
Why are you gonna get ugly with somebody because they offered you a fucking digital hug?
Verbally towards me. If I had been in that room, he probably would have beat me.
Oh, I'm sure he would have beat you too. Yeah, he would have. Of course. He would have killed you probably, right?
Yeah, you don't need them kind of people.
Yeah, whatever you say there, weak ass.
No, it's not good.
Just trying to get some pussy. Redneck.
So,
Redneck.
I have
93. Perfect name.
I have a voice recording of him threatening to kill himself. That he wants to die. He said that is basically enough proof to Baker-X him.
Wait a minute, demonic country girl. I thought
so
that she was going to kill you a minute ago. Now he's
he
going to
has
kill
until
himself?
an hour. He has about an hour to calm his shit down, or I am going to call daycare on him.
You're going to call the daycare?
Proof right now, because I remember my sister-in-law constantly had to call daycare on my niece.
Is he 7 years old?
They said that if she does not say that she wants to kill herself, we can't help her.
Now is some
So
chick
I made
that's
sure
gonna
I
kill
had the
herself
proof.
too? How many fucking people
If
are
he
gonna
keeps
kill
on,
themselves?
I will do it.
This is some serious shit.
I am this close from just saying fuck it all and do not care.
Oh, now she's gonna kill somebody.
I will give him the help that his mother does not want to give him.
Oh shit. Damn. She's gonna set somebody straight. I'm telling you right now. Where's the music going on here? Like, where's the music part of this? Is that later? When do we get to that?
It's crazy.
Oh no, I'm about to, oh, they need more than fucking 72 hours. They need more like a fucking year to figure his bullshit bipolarness fucking demonic ass out.
Okay. And live streaming right now with this fucking redneck dude is gonna, like, solve the problem how? What are you accomplishing exactly?
ICC. Hi, Glitter. Oh, can't say no more right now. I know, I'm sorry. I don't feel better, thank you. You barely talk to me anymore, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Oh, fucking, you're in trouble, Fantastic, you motherfucker. Now this bitch is gonna kill you. Your fault, man.
I'm glad you feel better. I still feel like shit.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're the victim and everything. The whole world's against you, hon. It's all horrible for you. It's rough. You got it rough, man. You got a raw deal. Yo, next, unfortunately, I turned off the fucking recording because right after that, after how she talked about the guy, how the guy was gonna beat her up or whatever, she launched into how, like, in her mind, she wanted to, like, claw the fucking guy's throat out and shit and, like, kill him and shit and everything. Yes, that's what happened next.
Crazy.
I'm telling you, you know, I mean, I am definitely going to try to get together with that chick, I'm telling you. She seems like a winner. So, yeah, that's a little B-roll from the Moon Knight episode. That is actually another Egyptian god, the Egyptian god of fucking bipolar. And, you know, I just wanted to slip that in real quick. Pardon me, but I find that shit very amusing. So anyways, basically, long story short, we already are, like, basically almost at the end of the episode, and really, I mean, I don't want to say that things were kind of, like, anticlimactic, but, obviously, the scales were balanced, I suppose, and Steven was frozen, and I guess Steven died off, or Mark, like, lost Steven or whatever, and we end up with Mark, like, running in a field, kind of, or whatever, essentially, and, like, there's music and everything and whatnot, and then that's it. I was wondering if maybe they might drop, like, like an end credits kind of thing or whatever and whatnot, but they didn't. No, so...
Yeah, I was too. I thought they would.
My next question is going to be, of course, then, Cyber, where do we go next? I mean, what, you know, at this point, I mean, what direction do we go into in episode 6? I mean, what should we expect?
We should expect probably what not to expect. You know what I mean? That's Disney, Marvel for you. They, like, you could be thinking one way, and then they take it completely the other way. So I still feel that, like, with the finale, we're gonna get a whole bunch of more, like, information. They're just gonna throw it all in there and basically kind of leave it off where, you know, maybe eventually Moon Knight will come back in either film or another TV series. We don't know. I do have a good feeling that it's going to be a fantastic finale. I feel we're going to see Khonshu again. I feel we're going to see Moon Knight again. I think we're going to get you know, a lot more action in this because, you know, we didn't get very much action in the last two ones. We had a little bit of action in 5, not really a little bit in 4, but not very much. Not like how we saw like in a couple of the other episodes. But yeah, I foresee it going to where it's going to leave off where, what is Mark Spector's next adventure, basically. And I feel that's how they're probably going to leave it off.
Okay, Renee, thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I think with the balancing of the scales and that sort of ends it there. But as far as the objective of Mark's character, but what's next? And there's only going to be 50 minutes of airtime coming. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, like I say, I'll be seeing it just a few hours from now. Wow, I hope they really sell it. I hope they stick it. I think they will. I sort of anticipate possibly another, maybe a second season of this, because I mean it's really good. It's wildly popular, and I don't, if they can get Oscar Isaac to do it, why shouldn't they? Or possibly they're going to launch him into the MCU movie verse thing and let him go from there. So. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what to do.
I wonder what they paid him for these 6 episodes. I'd like to know, honestly. It'd be interesting
Probably
to find out.
I'd say $1 million each, at least.
What do you think, Cyber? How much do you think they paid him for the season?
Yeah, I say anywhere between $5 and $7 million.
Remember, he's playing 2 characters, so he should get twice the pay.
Well,
I mean, most of the MCU, like when you make a movie, most of them make anywhere between $2 to $4 million a film. So this is a 6-episode arc where basically they're fitting in almost like say 2 movies, let's say, because out of the 6 episodes, that's 6 hours. It could be like 2.5 hour films. Mm-hmm. So I think of it in that general aspect. So I think it could be between that amount.
And do you feel like Oscar Isaac was a real get for Marvel Studios and whatnot, or do you feel like Marvel Studios' appeal overall, as far as working for them, is still at a point where, like, your actors and actresses are wanting to come to them for these roles?
I think it's a give and go. I feel that, yes, Marvel still has that appeal because there are actors and actresses I've seen that said, oh, I'd love to be in a Marvel film. And then there's other people that end up in the Marvel universe that weren't planning on it but decided to do it anyways. So I think it's a give and go.
Okay. And now, remember, Renee, before we got into the Moon Knight series, the debate really was like very heavy at times and whatnot, and and we talked about it multiple times in multiple conversations about how Moon Knight might end up being sort of like a test case for how they're going to handle more graphic noir type content in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of questions about the comic book accuracy of Moon Knight's character in the series in terms of the violence, the brutality, the graphic nature. Mm-hmm. And basically, Marvel just sidestepped it all completely by like making the whole thing into like a psychological, spiritual thriller like type deal. And to sidestep the entire conversation. Walked away like completely from it. To where, I mean, do you feel like, Renee, and then to you, Cyber, do you feel like the direction they took the story is compelling to a level, and the show is that popular to a level to where that conversation's over, and there's not going to be anybody popping out after the end of the series saying or complaining that we didn't get more of the violence and more of like the real comic book accurate, like more adult, orientated, a la Daredevil Netflix, type content with Moon Knight. Do Do you think that like those people were silenced by like what they got out of it?
Well, I've always maintained that this property belongs to Marvel, and they can do what they want with it. They're not under obligation to necessarily please all the fans all the time. The vast majority of MCU fans are not comic book readers. I'm not familiar with Moon Knight at all.
Good point.
I don't care. You know what? I understand they didn't have the violence that they were expecting, but there are plenty of other venues for that. I mean, even in Marvel, they get a little bit more. But the Netflix shows, at least, they tend to go there. So if you're jonesing for that, you can go find another source. You don't have to muddy up everything for everybody just to please you, and that's a little harsh. And I think sometimes the fans, they get a little too owny, a little too selfish, that this all belongs to them, and it doesn't. They need to learn that they're going to have to share it. And so far, I've liked everything I've saw with Moon Knight, and if it was a little bit more violent, that wouldn't bother me at all, but like it is, I'm just fine.
You should see me fight a dude. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, I mean, I'm at Daredevil Netflix level and shit with my hand-to-hand. I don't even play. But hey, I don't want to brag or anything, you know what I mean? But, hey, I will say that, like, I'm not proud of it and whatnot, but I have, like, experienced in my life actually literally headbutting a guy right to his face to the point where I broke his entire face and, like, he left it in the ambulance. So, that would, I don't think that would work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like what I did in that night or whatever. I don't think that would play really. But Cyber, what do you think, Cyber? Are there going to be any critics weeks after the series is over and whatnot that are going to be like, oh, they didn't give us more like action, they didn't give us more like more authentic Moon Knight with like the brutality and the violence and whatnot? Has all that conversation just kind of like dimmed?
No. There's always going to be, no matter what the series, what the movie, what the cartoon, whatever it is, if it's based on something that is a certain way, you're always going to have the people that are going to be in the background, even months later, years later, saying, I wish it had more of this. We'll have those diehard Moon Knight fans that are going to want that and that they're going to be disappointed with the series. There's just no way of getting around that, because that's because people all have different opinions. So, there will, yes, most definitely be those people along with the people that love the show.
And honestly, Moon Knight ended up doing nothing in terms of like giving us any kind of idea where Marvel Studios is going to go with characters like Daredevil, because again, they played it safe. We got very little actual like violence at all in the series. So I suppose that Renee, you can't rule out a second season, right? I mean, no. You never know. It could happen.
We didn't know about Loki till the very end. They popped it at the very end of the end of the season.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Cyber, didn't we find out they were doing Loki season 2 and 3 pretty early in the series?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't know that. See, I didn't know it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think by like...
Not everybody's going to know that,
I think by episode 2 or 3, Renee, we already knew that they were doing 2 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were doing 3. That's news to me.
Yeah, they've already officially stated that they're doing a 3rd season. Right, Cyber?
At last time I saw something about it, yes, they were supposed to be doing a 3rd season as well. Season 2 is almost ready to start shooting, which it's supposedly going to start shooting in June.
Yeah, that'll be good. There's a lot they can play off with that, just because they're right there at the nexus of the time, of all the timelines. So yeah.
See, now there's a question for you right there. With all the work that Tom Hiddleston has done with Marvel Studios and whatnot, all the films he's been in and whatnot and everything, right? How big he's been and whatnot. The first real solid villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, really. You know, in his very like understated role as like the main villain in the first Avengers film, which I think is very like overlooked. You wonder, like, honestly, how much money does he make by now at this point? After the relationship he's had with Marvel Studios for this long. You know? I mean...
Well, he's making a fortune because he's executive producing his TV shows, and so he's got part of that going, so he's going to get a cut of whatever goes down. I mean, I figure they got him bundled into a big contract somehow so he can do these movies and whatever they do. Probably not just him. I think that's how they probably do all of them, don't they? They don't just sign on for one project. They come in for, you know, we're going to need you. It's like, and I've said this before, what Marvel has done is built within Disney is like what the old studio system was back in the 30s when they would sign stars to 7-year contracts, and then they would work in these films and whatnot as they were needed and cast. So I think that's how these actors it's sort of something similar to that.
Okay. And of course, you know, also Tom Hiddleston also has like what, Renee, like a 10-inch long penis too. So I mean, that's got to be worth at least like an extra $3 million a movie.
Yeah, they have to have special costuming made for him. So.
Yes. So that they can
going back to what we were talking about. Remember, think back to ScarJo when she sued Disney to get, you know, because she said, well, you've done all this stuff and comes to find out, and they said, oh, you know, well, they settled it. She got what, $40 million out of it. So yeah.
Did we? I don't know. I don't remember. I never heard. Did they ever actually release a figure of what she got in the settlement?
I was thinking it was 40, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But I know she got a settlement out of it.
What do you think, Cyber? How much? Honestly, we never even talked about that. How much money do you think she got overall?
For the settlement or overall from Marvel?
In the settlement. She should have gotten. We talked before about what she should have gotten. She should have made like Robert Downey Jr. money, like for that film, as far as I was concerned. But do you think that she actually got $40 million in that settlement?
She got whatever she was suing for, so I know that she got exactly what she asked for. So, I mean, they made a settlement, you know, off the books, whatever. But I do know that after the whole thing went through and everything, her PR reps came and said that she got what she had asked for that she didn't get.
Yeah, I mean, you know, well, either way, you know, we don't know, and we'll probably never know. But I can tell you right now, I'd have to imagine it's interesting to me. It is. I mean, I'm not trying to get all into money and whatnot and everything, but I wonder, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, did Tom Hiddleston get paid more money than Oscar Isaac got paid for his series? You know, like, because of his longevity with Marvel Studios?
Like I said, it wouldn't be necessarily the series. They may have gotten the same amount of money for the series, but Hiddleston's getting. I think actually Oscar Isaac's executive producing this too, so they're getting a portion, not only of their salary as an actor, but also as an executive producer. Which there's a lot of benefits and things that go with that, separate from being an actor. See what I'm saying?
Well, I actually get royalty payments from the dudes that get to play with the women that I train. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because, I mean, honestly, I deserve to be paid royalties, you know, for the good-ass head that these dudes are getting and whatnot and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because of me.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
You're there just to wash out the underwear. That's all you're there for.
I should be compensated, I think. You know? It's only fair. But, you know.
$5 a pair of drawers.
Either way, bottom line, to wrap up, I guess, our Moon Knight episode 5 review, I actually wanted to play real quick this real intensely quick TV spot from Doctor Strange 2.
Stephen Strange.
The Illuminati will see you now. We will see what kind of Doctor Strange you are. Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange.
Now that is some quick shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Captain
and everyone that said the Illuminati weren't going to be in this, well, guess what, people? They are.
And we're going to get Captain Carter too.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the looked like Union Jack that was on the shield as its throne, and that would be Captain Britain. I think she's Agent Carter's Captain Britain at some point. In some verse, not in our verse, but in some verse she is.
You don't think she's Captain Carter from the What If series?
Well, Captain Carter and Captain Britain, I think, are the same. You know, Captain Carter becomes Captain.
Yeah, no, you're right. They are basically the same thing. You're right. They are. They're basically the same deal. What do you think, Cyber? What do you think, Cyber? Is that What If Peggy Carter?
Yeah, it is, because they confirmed that it was. Kevin Feige came out saying that that's who it is. It's the What If version of Peggy Carter.
Kevin Feige confirmed it?
Yep.
Damn. That is interesting. I forget.
Well, I mean, they'd already done the What If, so yeah, he's not letting too much out of the bag there.
Somebody told me the other day some crazy shit about how they're actually going to have, like, I guess, like, this is crazy, like animated characters from the What If series in the movie or something like that. Now,
or are they the live version of the animated character?
I think that's what it means. It's the live version of the What If characters. Because that's what Peggy Carter is. It's supposed to be exactly that character from What If that they're adding into the movie.
And don't forget, we're going to get a second season of What If yet, too, coming.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know when, but I guess I would probably assume that it'll probably be, I would think, after Ms. Marvel comes out and then She-Hulk, I figure we'll probably get What If then.
Yep.
Then Ironheart, and then probably Armor Wars will come out after that. And then I believe, if I remember correctly, I think that's when Secret Invasion or whatever will come out.
Wait, hang on, I got a paper that's got to. Let me put you on.
What happened?
I have no idea.
Did you say something about a paper cut?
I heard paper. That's it.
No, I've got a little paper that's got a schedule.
Paper
printed out
schedule.
Okay, we got coming up after Thor: Love and Thunder, Wanda Forever. That's November the 11th, 22. Not Wakanda Forever. I'm sorry, not Wanda Forever. Then it's the TV series Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, I Am Groot. I can guess a cartoon for kids. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Who cares?
In February 2023, it will be Ironheart.
Oh, great.
I'm sorry. No, wait a minute. I can't read what it is. Ironheart's later. The next one after that is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Then it'll be Quantumania, Armor Wars, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Blade. Can't read it. Marvel Zombies.
Quantumania has been shifted to February now.
Okay, yeah, it says in 2003. Yeah.
Watching the Ironheart series is going to be like trying to have sex with a woman with 3 condoms on.
To be announced. X-Men 97.
Jeff, your hatred for Ironheart is very, very loving.
I'm telling you right now, they only stuck her in the Black Panther 2 film because
Willow on there.
They want to borrow off the popularity of the Black Panther trademark and whatnot and popularity to rub off on her.
You think? That's how you get things to be popular, sir. You gotta You connect them.
Well, I still think that the Miss Marvel Disney Plus series is going to be better than Captain Marvel 2, the film.
Okay, wait a minute. Hang on, guys. There's to be announced. X-Men 97, and also the Fantastic Four are coming down.
X-Men 97, is that the animated series?
Yes.
I don't know. It just says Disney. So I'm assuming. Yeah, it probably is going to be animated.
It's a new animated series that's going to be coming to Disney Plus. That's going to look very similar to the '90s X-Men cartoon.
Okay. Well, I want to know when I'm going to get to watch more of these Plenty of Fish live streams, because I'm telling you, they're just some talented women over there on Plenty of Fish, live and over there, man. I mean, we're talking like, award-nominated type talent here.
Correct. Tech is not dead. Yes, it is a sequel to the '90s animated series.
Yes, which is awesome. And Cyber, they're going to pick up right from where the show left off, right?
I believe so. I honestly don't remember the '90s. I mean, I remember watching a few episodes, but I never watched the whole series. So
I didn't either. I only saw a couple episodes. I never watched the whole thing. No. I remember what characters were in it and whatnot, but I don't really know what the hell happened.
Yep.
Oh, Tax, was smoking hot Rogue? Hell yeah. Rogue looked hot in the animated series, man. I'll tell you right now, Tax, in the comic books, holy shit, she was hot. I mean, she looked good. So check this out, Cyber. I have got an audition on Thursday at 7 p.m. with Bigo Live, the live streaming platform and whatnot and everything. I'm auditioning to be a paid host on the platform.
Cool.
Isn't that interesting?
That is. I've never even heard of the platform.
Break a leg.
It's just it's one of those it's one of those straight live streaming platforms.
Like Twitch or
sort of
TikTok or
this is it's more like TikTok where you use your phone, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a lot of OnlyFans type action going on on there.
Are you gonna do an OnlyFans?
No. No, my videos are too raw for OnlyFans. People wouldn't be it'd be too much. No, I'm just no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say they may be listening now.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, I really, honestly have never even looked at OnlyFans before because I don't find any of that kind of stuff interesting at all. I don't care. Seeing pictures of women naked does nothing for me. It's whatever. So, I really don't even know anything about it. I just know that, on the Bigo Live platform, there's definitely, a lot of women where their whole live streams are based off of, a picture where they're half naked. So anyways, Cyber, before we take off and we do our plugs and whatnot and bail, what'd you think about seeing Professor X in the original X-Men colors and shit and everything with his wheelchair?
It was awesome. I'm glad to see him in those original colors because that's what I would associate Professor X with because growing up, that's what I saw him as. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, I mean, hey, how about predictions before we get out of here? I've heard a lot of shit talking from several people that believe that possibly Doctor Strange 2 will actually make more money in the box office than Spider-Man 3 did.
Yeah, I think it will.
Cyber?
Probably. I mean, if it doesn't make exactly the same as Spider-Man No Way Home, it definitely probably beat it by a little bit. Because a lot of people have been anticipating this film even more than Spider-Man No Way Home. Because, I mean, it's been 6 years since we got the last Doctor Strange, so. This one already, the first trailer when it dropped, it outviewed the Spider-Man trailer, and also ticket sales exactly too. It outbid Spider-Man 2. So,
well, I'll tell you what. That would certainly be very good for Marvel Studios and Disney if that happened. Like that's definitely it would be good for them. It would be a nice bounce back for them after COVID. But so Renee, Cyber. Why don't we jump into plug mode and talk about the Podcast of Champions, sakaar.freeforums.net, and the solo Cyberneticshark content creation.
Yeah, so if you enjoy me on here, people, you can check out my solo ventures on YouTube as well under Cyberneticshark. You can check me out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, Rizzle, etc. Always putting stuff up there and stuff like that. You can check me out there. Rizzle, of course, is where me and Mr. Jeff first partnered together and discovered each other. So, I mean, it's a great little platform. You know, you can do your little minute videos there too as well. But yeah, I mean, you can find me pretty much anywhere. You can find podcasts too as well under Cyberneticshark 2 is on Anchor as well. So yeah, definitely check those out, people. And yeah, if you like it, what's you see on here, definitely check that out.
Cyber, we got a live on TikTok again, man.
Yep.
We had a good one last time. We got to do another one. Yes, I must point out that honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Rizzo actually adds a live feature. I really honestly think they probably will. I think down the road that's the direction they'll end up going in. To compete with TikTok, they probably will end up doing something like that. But we'll see. I don't know, Cyber, what do you think? I think that would actually be really good for Rizzo if they did that.
I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, they're doing the video studios and stuff like that, so I'm sure a live button is in the near future.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Renee, what is going on over at the Podcast of Champions, sakaar.freeforums.net?
Well, we'll also be doing a finale review on that we'll be recording on this Saturday, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun with that. Also, like I said at the top of the show, we'll be doing a review of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness the next day. In addition to that, you can always go to Sakaar at how do you do it? Do it for me, Jeff.
Sakaar.freeforums.net.
There you go. You can always go there and join in and talk to the people, and we try to get a little lively conversations going on about Marvel topics and things like that, and we have a lot of fun over there. So join in, and like I say, I'm looking forward. I'm really riding the Marvel waves here this week, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'll be talking to you soon.
Oh yeah, baby. Love it. Anyways, so yes, and you know what? We are very excited for Renee, who's actually going to the movie theater on Thursday to go watch Doctor Strange 2. Mm-hmm. Good for her. Hope she enjoys the movie. Thursday's coming quick. As always, it was wonderful to spend time and record with my good friend Cyberneticshark, my co-host. And it's always good to see Renee. Mm-hmm. And Renee, of course, as she mentioned at the beginning of the show, is going to be doing a double header with us tomorrow night when we do the finale of Moon Knight and whatnot. And we will have a nice sized panel will be a little bit bigger than 3 people. I cannot disclose all the identities of the guests yet, because some of it is still a little bit 50-50, but there will definitely be some faces that you've known from in the past and whatnot and everything. And unfortunately, I was not able to recruit this guy.
Due to inflation, one good girl is now worth 1,132.13 bitches.
I really wanted him for the finale. I did. But, unfortunately, he is,
He's working the comedy rooms in Southeast Asia.
Yep. He's over in Africa with the Zulu Nation or whatever, I guess, playing his drum and shit. So, Oh, and Cyber, by the way, your green screen looks dope tonight, man.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It always looks dope.
The Moon Knight logo looks cool behind you.
I think so.
Almost as cool as Bandmade behind me.
Oh, hell no.
Well, your head, well, Cyber, your head blocks out part of so it looks like Mock Knight.
Yep.
Moon Knight.
Well, either way, we will see what happens with episode 6. It'll be very interesting. I'll tell you what. I love me some Khonshu, so there better be some damn Khonshu in that episode. Lots of it. But for Cyberneticshark, the veteran YouTuber, for Renee, the frequent guest of the MCU's Bleeding Edge, a good friend of the program, for TrueKnowledge, for our good friend Perry Ramsey, who we are hoping to hear from at some point in the future and whatnot, so we can find out how he's doing. He's a good guy. And he's an original of the Bleeding Edge. We will see you tomorrow night.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Yes. As always.
Alrighty, guys. I had a good time, as always.
I'm the fun.
Yeah, look, tell me what's the vibes, what's the mood? Yeah, I just hit a Mikey for the juice. Yeah, ain't no capping, I'ma tell the truth. I've been winning for so long, it's hard to lose. Yeah, deal, be my source, Christian like Dior.